Hello everybody, it is Ebontis here, and thank you guys for checking out this video. And today's video, as per you can tell already, is going to be a little bit different. So this is going to be my review of the Apex Vortex desk. This is going to be their 55-inch model, which is going to cover the width. And full disclosure, Apex did send me this desk for a review, so I did not pay for the desk. They sent it to me to do a review over it and then post it up to give you guys an idea of what it's all about. There's no promotional code or anything like that, but full disclosure, I did get the desk for free. Wanted you guys to know that up front. That being said, a couple things that I want to go through is just kind of how the construction of it went together, how long it took, and then go through just kind of my review over uses, go through the features that it's got, and then we will wrap this thing up. So here we go. All right, so the first thing that I want to touch on is the construction of the desk. And construction is probably too big of a term. It comes half assembled in the first place. The desktop itself is going to come in one box, and I will say they did as good of a feasible job packing this thing as possible. Mine came with basically no damage that I could find. You never know how any of the carriers are going to treat boxes, so of course that may be a thing. But from what I can tell, if you reach out to ApexDesk, I had a very small issue with the construction of my desk. The power brick underneath here, I was missing bolts that were actually going to hold it to the frame. I reached out and they literally had them coming to me the next day. So far, service and experience with them has been fantastic. So if you have any issues, missing like a screw or a bolt or anything like that, should be good. But everything I needed came with it. Now that being said, when I assembled the desk, I did use some power tools, some Allen keys, other things that I had to make it probably a little bit faster. But when I checked the video time to actually put the desk together, I'm not going to show you guys the full video, but you've probably seen some as I've been talking. It was an hour. 1 hour to put this desk together is actually pretty solid. So no arguments there. Basically, it came in the desktop. You have the big frame, so you have the 2 legs, and then the large crossbar were already assembled. The only thing I had to put together is put the legs onto the big, U-shaped frame, and then the desktop supports underneath that you guys can't see. They're kind of the wings that help support the desk. That's pretty much all I had to attach. And then underneath, you have a couple cords. You have the power and control brick that's going to help, and then I had to screw the actual standing part, like the control panel here, onto the desk. That was about it. It actually was a pretty painless process, but I will say it was fairly heavy. It took me a lot to flip this thing over because basically you'll kind of assemble the lower part of the frame, take the actual desktop, put it upside down on the floor, put the frame on top of the desktop, and then screw the frame into it, and then you have to flip it back over. That's when it gets heavy. When the frame and the desktop are attached together, my advice, unless you were just like the Hulk or, got some room to move and make sure you're not going to hurt yourself, get a little help. 2 people to help this thing flip over makes it just a lot easier. I managed, but it's not something I would advise. Let me just say that. So construction was fairly painless. The fact that the 3 legs were already assembled, I literally the 3 big pieces of the desk were assembled. I just had to put the legs on, put the supports on for the desktop, flip it, attach it, and it was good to go after I flipped it back over. It was pretty quick. I was actually pleasantly surprised. So assembly and construction went really smooth. As I said, there were 2 little bolts missing for this. They sent them to me in about a day. So if you're missing anything in there, ask them, but they were great to send it to me fast. So thank you, Apex, for the quick support. Next thing to talk about is the features of the desk. Now, the desk itself that I got is the 55-inch Vortex. So 27 inches deep, 55 inches wide. And then for height adjustments, you can go all the way down to 28.3 on mine. I think the website says 28.7, so small variation in there. And then mine goes all the way up to 47.2. I think the website says 47.7, so maybe mine's just a smidge adjusted. But generally, you're looking at about 28.5 inches to about 47.5 inches. And as I don't think I've said it yet, at least in this video, I've recorded this a couple times, I'm about 6 feet tall. So my typical standing height is going to be about 30. And one thing I've learned I love about any desk that you can adjust, maybe your desk needs to move, or maybe your chair needs to move just a little bit so you're comfortable. Maybe one day you just want your arms sitting a little bit higher, you want to lean back and relax. Maybe I want to gain back here, and I want a little higher. Or maybe I want to sit, proper posture one day, arms up a little higher. Maybe I need to adjust it down half an inch or an inch, and then you're good to go. The fact that you can move it when you need to, I've never had a standing desk before, so this is kind of great. But you also want to stand. If you're doing any very long work, long streaming, long projects that you're working on, it is nice to not be sitting in a chair for straight 8 hours, even if you do get up for occasional breaks. So being able to work standing, you might want to get like a foot pad depending on if you're on a hard surface or anything like that. Even carpet after a while only has so much padding. The nice thing about the control panel is you've got memory functions. So it comes with 1 and 4 is basically the lowest and highest setting. And then you've got 2 and 3, pretty much what I used for my sitting and standing. And then you got your manual controls. So you can press and hold the manual control, move it where you like to. It's pretty quiet actually, I'll be completely honest. It's gotta make some noise, but it's pretty quiet. But it's also got the one touch, so if I wanna bring it back down, I don't have to do anything. I can walk out of the room, go get, a drink, come back, and my desk will be waiting for me. So really easy controls to work with, very easy to read, LED display. You got the memory functions, 4 buttons here, and the 2 manual keys on the right. Now the base is solid, I will tell you that. I would not try and kick these things. They state industrial grade steel, and I believe the fact that they're steel because it's heavy when I flip this thing over. The legs are actually pretty substantially long. They've got these round feet on them as well to give them nice surface. And again, if you need to stabilize, if you don't have a level room or you got some weird funky carpet or something, you could probably put things under those legs. But I can tell you at a fairly low setting, this thing is stable. I can sit here and do a push-up on it, and it's not gonna go anywhere. So it's a stable desk. I'm over 200 pounds, in case that's not clear. It's not going anywhere. It holds 175. I don't need to stand on the desk and test that, and I'm not going to. But it holds 175 pounds. If you have 175 pounds of office equipment on your desk, you probably need to look into something else. But that piece as well basically covers, the legs are solid. And I'll show you how solid because we'll go up to the top. So now here's a point where, maybe you're 6'5" and you're like, how tall does this thing need to be? I'm 6 feet tall. So if I stand up next to the desk, I usually stop it right about here, about 40. It gives me a nice range for my elbows to be about 90 degrees if I want to work. But for you guys to see the highest height, this is where mine ends up stopping at about 47.2. Now maybe it's like supposed to show 47.7. Either way, it's taller than I will ever need. Now could I theoretically work up here and lean on the desk? Sure. But here's the thing, I can sit here and lean on the desk and it's not going anywhere. Now, if I slowly lean in and tip, sure, I could probably do that to literally any desk in the market and it's gonna fall over. But if I'm up here writing, typing, talking, very loud typing, I know. But you guys can see it's like everything is stable. I'm not causing the desk to wiggle just by using it normally. If I'm moving the mouse around, everything is nice and stable, even at its highest height. Sorry, can't talk sometimes. But if I want to give this thing an earthquake test, fair warning, you can probably watch everything as I move it, but these, you guys can see, they're on gas-powered arms, so I can move these things around, up and down, so they're going to have a little bit of play, but the idea of the gas-powered arms are the fact that they can float comfortably and hold the weight of the monitor, but if I give it a wiggle, I can make things move a little bit if I want to, but I could do that again. Any desk that's going to have, a table that has some movement, I could shake pretty much anything. But I can definitely tell you, I can lean against the desk, and it's not going to fall over. It's pretty solid. So if, you're 300 pounds and you get tackled into this desk, yeah, it's probably not going to hold up. But if you're standing here, leaning next to it, leaning on the desk, need to take a nap, it's been a long day, it's going to hold you up, it's going to support you. It's a very, very solid base. But I'm going to take this thing back down to a reasonable height. So that's from the very top. This is coming down almost to the bottom. I don't even know if this takes like 10 seconds. I haven't actually timed it yet, but I swear that thing goes about almost like, an inch a second or so, something like that, probably faster. It's fairly short. So that covers a lot of pieces about the desk. My thoughts about it so far. As I said, it's solid. I have leaned on it, used it, moved it around, had it on high heights, had it low heights, leaned on it. I haven't done jumping jacks on it. I would advise against that. But overall, everything that I've put on the desk has been great so far. Any normal use that I've used so far, everything is stable, nothing's shaking around and moving. You've got plenty of space. I like that it's probably about a 3/4 inch or maybe 1/2 inch thick desk. So anything that you want to mount to it, you're just gonna have the little clamps in the back. You also do have a couple pieces right here for the little grommets for cables to run through, 2 of those. And then underneath, I actually separately bought the cable management tray from Apex that goes with this desk. So that's how most of my cables are tucked up underneath. And I will tell you, being able to walk into your room and look under your desk and not see a whole bunch of stuff under there. It's all tucked behind my computer, which you gotta put them somewhere. But the fact that even in a fairly open space, I don't see a ton of just junk back there, it's really nice. I don't think my office has been this clean in the 8 years that I've probably lived in this house, so I'm loving this, and my wife is too. She's wanted me to clean this office, and I have slacked real hard, but thanks to the desk, it gave me incentive to clean everything up, and trust me, it's a win. But yeah, 55 inches is going to give you a lot of space to work with. This is, I don't know how wide this one is. If I had to guess, somewhere in the mid-30s. Gives me plenty of room to work. But if you want to get a mouse pad that covers the whole surface, then you'll cover even more scratch resistance. But all the stuff that I used in the back, no major scratches or anything back there that I can even notice any damage at all to the top. So this scratch resistant surface doing its job. The base is stable, it's solid. You're not really going to be shaking this thing or moving anywhere. The height adjustment is really wonderful. Pick where you want, sitting, standing, set your memory functions. And then overall, just Apex themselves. They were great to work with. A couple pieces that were missing. Sent them straight away once we figured out what I was missing. And as I said, assembly was fairly quick. It took me an hour. If you don't have some of the tools I did, it might take you 90 minutes. But overall, it was really quick. Only thing I would advise, again, make sure you have some help when you go to flip this thing over, because it is heavy once you get it stable. So you could move it once it's on the two legs, right side up, but flipping it over, I would probably advise some help. But I can't say enough. It's been a great desk so far. It's my first standing desk, so it's a light years beyond anything I've used before. And the memory control function, easy to read display, is honestly it's not like I'm trying to get down here and crunch it. It's not overly bright or anything either. It turns off, so it's not just sitting there the whole time. There's no bright LEDs. It's just a little number display. See what you need, use the functions that you need, and it seems to work great. So for me, this desk, I'm going to tell you guys, right now on their site, it's showing $549.99. This is as of June 6th. This review was delayed a little bit from me just having a lot of stuff going on. So thank you, Apex, for the patience on this review coming out. But I can tell you, if you go search for desks, that this is a very good value for standing desks. The functionality, the strength of the supports, the height adjustment that you're going to get, and the size that you get, and from what I can tell, the service that Apex is going to give you. So far, I would have to recommend this one pretty high for value, because if you go start pricing standing desks, they get expensive. They really do. So I mean, $549 may sound like a lot, but if you live at home, working, streaming, gaming, whatever it is, it's good to have a solid desk, and having the option to stand is one of those things that can help give you, good circulation, get your blood flowing again, give you a little wake up in the afternoon, or just if sitting down doesn't feel great all the time, gives you the option to do so. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. Thank you, Apex, for sending me the desk. Again, appreciate that one. If you guys are new to the channel, I do a lot of gaming on here, a lot of Destiny guide videos and other things. I stream over on Twitch a variety of things and do who knows what on Twitter. So you can find Ebontis pretty much everywhere. So if you want to check out my gaming content, you can. But if you just came for the Apex desk video and you enjoyed it, drop a like below. Leave a comment if you have any questions about the desk as well. I'm happy to answer all of those for you. I do try and literally answer all my comments. If you have questions about literally anything related to the desk, I will be happy to answer those. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you soon.